Okay, this is Pete Feenstra from GetReadyToRock.com, live at the Boom Boom Club in Sutton, talking to the estimable Chris Duarte. We're really pleased to have you here, Chris.
Thank you so much, Pete. Good to be here.
Is this your second trip to London?
This is my second trip, yes.
And I think it was 1994?
1994, probably 95, after
95.
the CD came out, played Borderline.
Been a long time.
It's been too long. So
why are you taking so long?
Man, it's, I don't know, maybe record sales haven't been as good. We haven't had an agent to get us over here, you know, but now we got something going. We got something with the record company that's going to hopefully bring us here at least once a year, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Building up a crowd again.
And the new album's called Blue Velocity, which kind of suggests idea of power and the blues.
Yeah, you know, speeding fast at you with it. So, you know, that's what I wanted to come up with. And amazingly, that's actually my title, because I just, with me, sometimes I know it's important to have it, the right name. Yeah. But I just kind of threw out some names, and Mike Varney was like, yeah, Blue Velocity. Yeah. So, it's
did he give you carte blanche to play more or less what you wanted to play? And
yeah, kind of, but he wanted a certain style. I mean, we had a bunch of other songs that we brought in, but he said, no, maybe for another album, it's a good song to like it, but not for this album. So he kind of put it on. He wanted mainly a blues rock album.
But there's still a lot of live feel in that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what he wanted. He wanted the crazy, unabashedly, you know, Chris Duarte. I'm mistaken with Chris Duarte.
But that's what you are. You are Chris Duarte. That's the way you play.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. How lucky I feel through my whole career.
Okay.
I've been able to do my thing and do my music and stuff.
Well, you've made your own niche, and there isn't anybody else like you.
Well, that's what I'm trying.
In fact, people, he's called the Coltrane of the guitar. What do you feel about that?
I love that, because that's like my #1 musical idol.
Really?
It's Coltrane, you know, Coltrane, Beethoven, and then just a long list of others. But those are like my main guys.
And for all these people, how about the rock and the blues influences? Where do they come from?
Oh, of course. I mean, there's Stevie, and there's Jeff Beck, and there's John McLaughlin. He's another one of my favorite guitar players. And I mean, it just goes on. You know, Hubert Sumlin. I mean, Jimi Hendrix, of course. It goes on and on. You know, of
which you play some of his stuff, of course.
Right, exactly.
Do you find people respond more to that than the stuff? Do they expect you to play Hendrix?
And sometimes, you know, and sometimes I'll tell them, well, I got a song that's kind of in the Hendrix vein. See if you like this one. And usually, normally they do.
So let's quickly take you through your career. You came out of Texas.
Came out of Texas, mid-'80s, actually early '80s. Started playing with Bobby Mack.
Yeah,
that was like when I was 17 years old. I was playing with the Bobby Mack band, you know. So
taught you a lot.
He taught me a whole lot. He taught me how to be a good side man, you know, how to support a leader of a band, because that's so important. I've always thought that, to be able to support an act or support your main guy, you know, play right rhythm. Don't be noodling all underneath and stuff like that. Cool. You know, that's very important, because a lot of cats these days, the young kids, they want to get in a trio, they want to immediately get to the chops, you know, let's start playing, and they forget about the rhythm, you know, so that's what they need to learn.
And after Bobby Mack?
Right, after Bobby Mack, and I played in various bands around Texas. I played hobby bands, I mean, in Austin, Texas. To make rent, you get in about 4 or 5 bands to make the rent. So I was doing various things, started to dabble a little bit in jazz. And then about '87, I got the junior on the Medlow and the Bad Boys, and then we were seen by a critic in Fort Worth who wrote for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, the paper, and that's what pretty much set the whole ball of wax going. It set the snowball in motion, because he had wrote this glowing review calling me one of the top 2 guitar players, upcoming guitar players in Texas.
And he got more gigs as a result of that.
Yeah, exactly. Bigger gate receipts were coming in. And so then it just started moving after that. And then I started doing my trio thing. I took it out my own.
What was the main difference between being a sideman and a band leader? That's an obvious kind of question, but everybody asks that. So let's ask it now.
I'd say a sideman, you know, you just follow the leader. You follow the leader and support the leader, and be in a support role and be part of the group. And whereas a leader of the band, you know, you sort of steer. You've got your hand on the steering wheel there, and you sort of guide the direction of it.
And the current band that we're going to see tonight, you want to tell everybody who it is?
Yes, I'm extremely proud to have, because I live in Atlanta now, so I have musicians from the Atlanta, Georgia area.
Hello, Lucy.
There you go. Hi, Lucy. And we have Joseph Patrick Moore on bass. Which is tremendously, I mean, he just approaches it so differently and unique. That's why I like him. And then Jeff Riley, who's from Athens, and he's just a tremendous player in his own right.
And how did you all meet up?
We actually kind of, Jeff came recommended from somebody, and so I met up with Jeff, and then Jeff says, I got a bass player that I think could do this deal. And they've been with me for almost a year now.
Is that right?
Yeah. So.
And is it their first trip to Europe?
With me it is. I know they've been here before, but with me.
Okay. And how much longer is this tour going to last before you go back
This
home?
tour's got about another week.
You've been in Russia, Italy?
Yeah, I've been Russia, Italy, Japan, You know, just kind of get, because in Japan I play with a different band, Blue Stone, and I go there every year in January, and then I bring them over to the United States to do a month-long tour in September. And that's like a totally different band, because in that band I am kind of a side guy in there. I'm part of a band. But it's really hip, you know. I like playing with those guys.
And can British fans expect to see you again soon after this?
I hope so. I hope so. Yes, I hope to be
response
here
last night
every
was phenomenal,
year, Britain. Get used to me.
The album's called Blue
Love
Velocity
me.
on Provogue Records. This man plays a guitar like you wouldn't believe. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you,
Chris. Come back soon.
This is Roger Mayer, people. Hendrix's sound right here. This man did it, and numerous other sounds. But this is Roger Mayer, the most famous name in pedals ever. Every guitar player knows who Roger Mayer is.
Live at the Boom Boom Club in Sutton. Just get that one in. Roger, it's great to have you here. Great.
Well, it's always nice.
It's just blowing me away that you're here, man. And then using your pedals. I mean, this is mind blowing, people.
The man makes them, he plays them.
I always enjoy inventive and guitar players who are serious and who love music, and that's the main reason I'm here. And Pete sees me and invites me down, and I come down here from time to time. You know,
he's seen them all down here, haven't he?
A lot of them.
And 95% of them are working his pedals, which helps.
Yeah, an awful lot of them. Yeah, I mean, I guess the people that use my pedal is like a who's who of all the famous guitar players, you know.
Too numerous to start naming people.
Except for the fact, the interesting thing is that Roger's career includes Bob Marley, Stevie Wonder, the Mavericks. That's the kind of
Isley Brothers.
Isley Brothers. And Chris.
Stevie Ray.
Who noodles in and out of all those styles.
Yes, exactly. Every guitar player has at least had or uses one of his pedals in their rig. I know it. I know it.
So, Roger, you've got to tell us about a guitar player's tone. What's it all about?
The guitar player's tone, first of all, has to come from his own inner vision. If a guitar player comes to me and the first thing I say to him, well, what are you interested in? How do you want to sound? And if they say, I want to sound like somebody else, that kind of turns me off, because that means that they're not personally. I'd much rather they have an abstract idea and I say, well, you know, this song is about a woman I just met and this and that. And I'm more into the emotion of the tone rather than I want to sound like Jimi Hendrix. Well, yeah, but that was 40 years ago, man. So, you know, don't you want to go forward? Why don't you ask me what's new, what's around the corner? That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in moving the boundaries forward, because after all, I was there 40 years ago. And so for me, it's just to be you know, blunt, boring. And it's not new. And I think the public deserves something new and exciting to go forward. I mean,
well, here's Chris.
Well, I know that. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying, I couldn't have said better, because every musician wants to find their own voice.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you listen to it on the radio, you say, oh, that's such and such, or that's such, because they have their own voice. And that's what he's talking about.
It's the same thing with a vocalist. You've got 8 seconds with a vocalist for someone to identify you, and that should be the same with a guitar player or anybody else. I kind of specialise in giving someone a tone logo, for want of a better word, so that, you know, they instantly can become recognisable. But for them to achieve that kind of personal tone, they have to be seriously interested in obtaining it, and the path cannot be, you know, sort of palmed off to a road manager, so, oh yeah, go and buy me that pedal down the high street shop. Because if that were the case, everyone would be making damn hit records, which they ain't. And even if you could buy a pedal down the street that was going to make you a hit record, it's going to be 6 months out of date by the time you made a hit record, so that's not the answer. So you know, to be on the cutting edge, you've got to be interested in the cutting edge. And I kind of liken it like to a Formula One racing car driver. Michael Schumacher doesn't get his mechanic to test the car out, does he? He does it damn self, you know. And you know, if a guitar player relies upon a road manager to set his guitars up or buy his pedals and decide what amp he should use, well then, he ain't my kind of guitar player.
I think we've just heard the definitive thing on the whole of the guitar players all around the world. This is it. Roger Mayer, Mayer Effects, go buy the effects, buy Chris's product, Blue Velocity, come down to Boom Boom Club. It's been great talking to you. Thank you guys, and good night. Brilliant.
Happy playing anyway.
Thank you.
Happy playing. Always have fun.